Yo, what's going on, guys? Jack Gardner here, and today I want to show you some new lines from my new track featuring Henrik Linder. This is a song that's mainly inspired by some of the funk and soul greats, people like Stevie Wonder, but also, of course, bands like Dirty Loops have popularised this kind of feel. It's like a 12/8 shuffle, if you like. But I wanted to basically try and see if I can add some instrumental guitar flavours to this. So I'm trying to imagine the guitar as almost like the singer in this case. It starts off in the key of G minor. The chords in the background are essentially like a vamp around a G minor 7, F major, and an E flat major. Just back up. Super common in funk and soul, but also in the gospel world too. It starts off then with this kind of pentatonic-ish based idea for the main melody. I'm going to play this. Now here, it starts off by me sliding from the 11th of G minor in terms of intervals, not in terms of fret numbers, down to the root. From here, I go to the flat 7, then the root, and then I slide up into a bend of the minor 3rd. So we've got... From here, what I do is I outline really like an F major chord or triad with a sus4. This kind of idea. Into G minor pentatonic with double stops. This is more like a blues player if they would play a G minor chord. This is where I'm getting these ideas from. Guys like Eric Gales, Josh Smith, they inspired me the most for this kind of idea. So I've got... Now I slide into this idea. Now you could think of this as almost like a B flat triad, if you wanted to, like a B flat major 7. But really what I'm wanting to do here is outline the sound of like a G minor 9 chord. The minor 9 sound is one of my favourites. You'll hear it all over this track in the main melody. I'm really honing in on that note to give a certain feel to the listener. So you get that. And this is just coming back to this area. If you want to think of all of this as being around G minor 7, and around like a B flat, this is kind of what I'm visualizing in my head as I'm doing this. So the whole line. To finish it, I just go from the flat 7 into the root, and then slide just from above the 11th into that, pulling off to the minor 3rd. So we've got all together. The intro to the verse melody. Just be careful with your dynamics and your subtleties, really. I think that's what makes this line sound so cool. You want to make sure that you're not playing everything at the same velocity, same pick attack. I'm picking super hard for some notes, and then I'm letting the slides kind of bring that level down. Even here, I'm just literally picking once on that G string. I'm striking through multiple strings, and then I'm bending, not a full kind of tone or a half step. It's in between, like a blues player would. Even here, some of those notes I'm picking super hard, others I'm not. Be very careful with your vibrato too. Bad vibrato ruins lives. I think for me, that's what I'm always looking for in a player, is how they control that. It just gives you your own little voice, so be aware when you play this, record yourself maybe, check back and go, does that sound in tune? Does that sound nice? Does that sound smooth? It's all of these little subtleties that make that line work. So vibrato, dynamics, pick attack, bend. That's kind of the whole idea of it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that line. So the next line I want to take a look at is actually the chorus line. This one for me is again based around this kind of minor 9 vibe. So I'm outlining this in the melody itself, so I get this kind of idea. It's an octave that I use between the G and the high E string. bent into the minor third and back down again. Now from here, we've got to be really accurate with our slides. There's a lot of sliding going on, but that's what makes this line sound cool. If you can get a half pinch harmonic, that's even better. That doesn't always work, but it just adds a bit more character to that. So in terms of the fingerings, just be aware, I'm using my first finger to pinky at the beginning. This is all 1 to 3. Now 3 comes across on the B string with a slide. That's like all 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 4, and then to the end, I slide in with the second, so we get. Second half of the line is the same idea, just an octave below. And this can be thought of as all like G minor pentatonic plus this ninth. Some people call that hexatonic 6-note scales, but that's really what I'm visualizing in my head. I'm just thinking of adding the ninth. It's this kind of idea. So we've got, where are we from the beginning? Second half. And this is just pentatonic. Right at the end there, I'm sliding up to the blues note to get that kind of more bluesy effect in the phrase. So all together. Be very careful with your vibrato. You don't want things out of tune. That will ruin the whole line. And be very careful with that bend here. Some people struggle to do that with the first finger. I always suggest that you try to get that really accurate. One thing you could practice to do that actually is to take like a scale on one string and see if you can just bend through. So if I took this like G scale here, or G minor, just a straight minor Aeolian thing, I could get. And that'll be the way to do it with each individual finger. It's hard, some of those are wildly out of tune, but for speed's sake, you get the idea. That really helps with those kind of lines. So one last time, the whole line. And there we have it. Okay, so this last line I want to show you occurs right at the end of the last chorus, and it's where I want to spice things up a little bit with some more complex style harmony. Really, we're going to aim towards getting to the 5 chord, which in G minor is going to be our D7, this kind of sharp 9. So we're going to get some altered scale vocab and some bebop-inspired chromaticism here. But the place which I want to start it from is up when we're at the G minor. And then we get the same idea. But now this is where we get into the cool stuff. And this is outlining this chord, really. So we start with just kind of pentatonic based ideas, which is just, I'm thinking of G minor pentatonic. Now, same idea. You think of it as B flat. And now to get into this D altered line, I slide from the sharp 9, I'm gonna call that, rather than flat 3, because it's altered, into the major third, into this kind of bebop-inspired chromatic idea. So really, in terms of intervals, if we think of this over that D7 flat 9 or D7 altered, I'm thinking, okay, I have the sharp 9 into the major 3, and then I pull off and slide down to that root, all chromatic. This is just coming down the altered scale here. I'm wrapping around this D note. All the way down to this sharp 9 again, and then I wrap around what I'm thinking of as like a G minor. I want to target the root of G, so I go from the major 7 and finish on the 5th of the chord. Now all of these are basically what I call chromatic enclosures. Those notes are technically wrong, they're not part of the chord, but it doesn't matter so long as we land on a chord tone on the strong beats. We can play literally any note we want. It's just a case of filling in gaps and finding ways to do this. There's all kinds of different enclosures. That's just an example of one. I use that all the time. This is what I'm thinking in my head. So that's another example of an enclosure. This is like where I'm wrapping around the root of D. There's just another way you can do this. And there we go. So it starts all inside harmony. Outside. And there we have it. That resolves to G minor, nicely. Hope you have fun with that line. Just be careful of the legato that goes on. I am actually kind of sweep picking that too. And then I'm picking which notes to alternate pick towards the end. For me, it's one of these. I don't have a set system. It's just whatever feels comfortable at that moment in time, whether that's economy picking or sweep picking or legato or alternate picking. It's picking and choosing. It doesn't have to be the same every time too. So when you are practicing this, experiment. See if legato works for you. See if you can play it that way. See if you can play it with economy. See if you can play it with alternate. It's totally up to you. There's no set rules, and I always think you should break them if you can anyway. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that line. See you guys in the next one.